Am I the asshole here for demanding my dad divorce his wife after she kicked me out? 2 days ago I came home from school at around noon as we had finals and they let us go out early after we finished them. I get home and decide to chill for a bit before I do anything like my chores. This usually isn't a big deal as I end up getting them done anyways. However, as I was playing some video games, my stepmother comes downstairs screaming at me about not cleaning the bathrooms and how I'm a waste of space, so obviously we started arguing and eventually she screams at me to get out of her house. I say this in quotes as it's most definitely not her house and is in my father's name. Now let it be known that my city has been unusually cold and she threw me out in below zero weather. And in between screaming about how worthless I am, she also threatened to stab me. So it's not cool. Eventually I did end in just packing some stuff and leaving, and I am currently at my real mom's house and studying for the rest of my finals. This is when the real stuff begins. My dad calls me and I'm expecting it to be like a I'm glad you're safe type of thing because my mom said that he was freaking out about me getting kicked out. Instead he asks why I hadn't done my chores. His wife threatens to stab me, kicks me out, and calls me a waste of life, and he is worried about why I didn't clean the damn bathroom. It was at this point I broke down completely. I told him how I hated him and his wife since the day he introduced us and how I was done being second to a woman as crazy as her. I said some genuinely harsh things to him before I told him that I wasn't coming back until she was gone for good. I immediately hung up on him afterwards and cried myself to sleep. Originally I felt that what I said was justified and that every word was deserved, but now I don't know. My dad works really hard and I think he just didn't want to accept that his wife had really done or said anything. I just want an outside perspective on how I acted. He messaged me saying he was gonna call me later today, so should I maybe apologize or try to say something? I'll update later on whatever does end up happening. Edit/update, got off the phone with dad and he says he's getting in the process of divorcing his wife, and he also apologized to me and we sort of had a little heart-to-heart convo. He also says that she had been very hostile and unloving recently and he believes she may be bipolar. I didn't press him for details, so this is basically all that was said about it. He did tell me about looking into counseling for us and acknowledged his mistakes. Overall, we ended the call on a cheerful note. To answer a couple questions I've seen and to clear some stuff up, I am 14. Yes, I told my dad all that happened with his wife and also that she had always been very hostile to me, and I do not want to call CPS at all as my stepmom's kids would be most likely separated for a bit, and as bad as she is, I just think she needs help. My mom and dad have talked and decided that I should be where I'm safe and stay away from the house until his soon-to-be ex-wife leaves tomorrow. So yeah, I'll update if needed, but I'm really looking forward to the future and hopefully a smooth transition with the divorce. Thanks for everything. Story 2. Am I the asshole for not allowing my daughter to have a friend over because her mother is overprotective? My 39M daughter, 15F, has been doing a charter school online, and because they connect kids with others locally, she made a friend there. She uses mainly the internet for communication as neither of them have phones of their own. I'm happy for her since she does not have many friends. Her friend lives about an hour out of town but comes into town often and they hang out at the library or park. The issue is that my daughter wants to have her friend over at our house to hang out. Now normally we'd be okay with this, but my wife, 36F, tells me that my friend's mother will only allow it if I am not at home. This to us felt like a flag. My wife has attempted to find out if she can't talk to friend's mother, but she refuses to do so. My wife can't even find out what her name is. My wife and I decided it would be a bad idea to allow our daughter's friend over even if I'm not there. This mother sounds like someone who could look for any reason to make accusations, and even if I were at work, am I supposed to avoid my own house so someone, who I don't know and doesn't know me, doesn't accuse me of being a predator? We have 3 other kids and we don't think it's wise to take that kind of risk. My daughter, however, thinks we are horrible and hate her for this and does not understand our concerns. Are we being unreasonable? Am I the asshole? Edit, to clarify, when I say I can't be there, I mean me the dad. A man cannot be there while her daughter is there. Edit 2, update to story. After some thinking and at my suggestion based on reading comments, my wife made another attempt to reach out to her. My wife explained what she was told via her daughter and wanted to find a way to work it out. So my wife invited her to dinner and she responded positively. So that's good. Hopefully we can work all this out for my daughter's sake. Story 3. Am I the asshole for buying my former nanny a house instead of my dad? So I recently bought a house for my former nanny. My entire childhood I was raised by my nanny Jane, as my mom was the breadwinner and my dad wasn't in the picture at all. Jane attended every after-school activity, graduation, and parent-teacher conference. Jane basically raised me and I see her as my second mom. My mom employed Jane as a nanny/housekeeper from when I was 2 until I was 28, when my mom passed away due to cancer. As a result, I inherited everything. My mom was a successful surgeon with her own practice and my grandparents left her with a few properties in her home country. I have since rented the properties out, giving me a good rental income. Well, after my mom passed away, Jane was there for me. She helped me make all of the funeral arrangements and contact relatives from my mom's home country. After she helped me through this difficult time, I wanted to do something nice to thank Jane. As a birthday gift, I surprised Jane with the deed to a 2-bed, 2-bath house in an area of the country she had always talked about wanting to retire at. Jane tried to decline the gift, saying it was too much, but I told her she was like a second mother to me and that this was the least I could do for her as thanks for raising me. Well, somehow word got back to my dad that I had bought a house for Jane and he turned up at my mom's old practice demanding to talk to me. I didn't even know who the man was, as I've seen him less than 20 times in my entire life. He claimed to be my father and yelled at me for buying a house for a stranger over someone who is family, and says he and his family of 5 have been struggling financially. He even had the audacity to say that I should buy a house for him and my half-siblings, who I have never met, because they are my blood family and I owe it to them. I laughed in his face and told him that Jane had been far more involved in my life growing up than he ever had and that I didn't care if he was struggling financially. Security then escorted him to his car and made sure he left the property. My dad's side of the family have now been trying to reach out through Facebook. Complete strangers who I've never met, saying I'm an asshole and that my mom never let him be part of my life. I know this is false, since I remember my mom calling him over the years, asking him to pick me up on the weekends to spend time with me, and he never did. I tried to talk with my friend Aiden 34M about this problem, who recently reconnected with his dad, who he hadn't seen since he was 6 due to his dad being incarcerated. Aiden told me that my dad probably had a good reason for abandoning me and that I'm the asshole because some people don't even have dads. I reminded him I was one of those people. Now he's refusing to talk to me.